Exclusively designed by Nixie Nax Arts, we bring you our second exclusive mat with the colossal Rainbow Neos taking on Red Eyes Dragoon, using both Dark Magician and Red Eyes alongside Elemental Hero Neos and of course Rainbow Dragon. Produced by Venom Battle Gear, this is an exclusive mat only available from their site. You can get this mat both with and without zones, and it can be shipped worldwide. What are you waiting for? Visit venombattlegear.co.uk to get your own exclusive Rainbow Neos versus Red Eyes Dragoon playmat. What's up YouTube? Dale here from Zephyr War Games. Today I'm bringing you a duel with myself on the left using our exclusive Red Eyes Dark Dragoon and Rainbow Neos mat up against Stephen on the right hand side playing his Unchained. Now I am of course playing Dark Magicians. Now I was worried straight getting into this game because the biggest issue we had was Stephen plays kaijus in his deck, so I was kind of like, damn. So I won the dice roll and I made him go first because I was like, right, okay, I'd rather try and break his board with a Dragoon than let him break my board with a kaiju, because kaijus are a pain. When I know someone is maining kaijus, you've got to play around that. Surprisingly, he told me at the end of the game that he wasn't actually using kaiju, so I ended up playing myself a little bit. Anyway, so he's playing his Unchained. He used the effect of Fire in Hand to pop the set Prison. Prison then destroys and goes into the Unchained soul of, I think it's Desire, not Anguish, but basically the Unchained soul of Disaster. Now, I kind of was expecting him to link into the Link 2, so I'm not too sure why he didn't. Anyway, I draw. Now, this one's actually really weird because my opening hand was Red Eyes, which is a bit sucky, but I activate Circle, ask if there's a response. Now, I can't remember what he's sitting on. I think it might be a Twin and a Sanctum or something. Anyway, so activate Circle, get a Soul Servant off the top. Nice. Now, my hand's pretty good because it's got Red Eyes, it's Soul Servant, it's Apprentice, and I think there's an Allure in hand as well, and I drew into the Secrets for turn. So I'm looking at the idea of, do I go Verte or do I try and hard summon the Dark Magician? Now, all I need to do is get Apprentice onto the board, use her effect, add Dark Magician, boom, I've got a hard summon of Dragoons. So I take a bit of time trying to think out how do I want to make this play? Part of me is like, do I stack the deck with Soul Servant? Do I just discard the Soul Servant with Apprentice? Because then eventually I'll be putting Dark Magician and Red Eyes into the graveyard, and then I can banish Soul Servant to get that draw one. So ultimately I go with Soul Servant to stack the deck, and I think I take the gamble here. I literally take the gamble of the Allure, because it's like, okay, if I Allure into a Dark Magician, great, I banish the Apprentice, and if not, so I'm going to put Rod to the top because I want the normal summon. Rod is then going to turn me into my Eternal Soul. Now, this is the pretty much standard combo you want to be looking for Dark Magician, is at some point in your first turn, you want to be able to go through a Circle, a Soul Servant, and an Eternal Soul. Whether that be Circle going into one of them or anything like that. So I play the Allure, know I'm going into a Rod, and I get into a Dark Magician. And I'm like, right, okay, that's fine. I don't actually need to use Apprentice's discard effect now. So rather than putting Apprentice on board, I'm going to banish her with Allure. I'm going to normal summon Rod. Now, I'm trying to bait out any form of hand traps or interruptions, because what I've got, there's not a lot he can do to stop Secrets, but if there's anything that he can do to try and stop the Dragoon play, I'm just trying to get them out of the way if possible. So I've got the Eternal Soul, I've got my combo set up. I now play Secrets. Now, obviously, the downside of Secrets is I'm just losing 2 cards from hand. Now, he waited way too late on this, so he flips Artifact Sanctum. Now, for those of you that aren't aware of this, Scythe activates on a separate chain. So the chain will resolve backwards. And this is exactly what I'm telling him now. So the chain resolves backwards. Sanctum summons Scythe, and then Secret summon Dragoon. Then, on a separate chain, Scythe's effect goes off, locking me out of the extra deck for the rest of the turn. So if he had shotgunned that early, I would be in trouble. But I use Soul Servant to draw 1 card. My Dragoons is going to go off. My Dragoons from here can just go, okay, cool. Pop Scythe, burn you for 22. And then I'm trying to figure out the best way on this one. Now, Disaster revives from the graveyard, so I kind of want to use that as my second pop, but it doesn't mean he's going to get any burn damage because his attack is 0. Dragoon does the original attack. So I'm burning for 22 with Dragoon's effect by popping the Sanctum, the Scythe, sorry. And now I use my second effect to get rid of the Disaster, because then it means it's not going to loop, it's not going to float. I could if I wanted to, and I probably should have done, negate during the battle. So I'm now just figuring out the maths. I've got an Eternal Soul left in hand, plus one other card, so that I have the discard fodder for Dragoons. 2 other cards, sorry. So I kill the disasters, so then it can't like help float anything. And then I go into battle phase. Now, obviously, my Dragoons is on 3k, so swing straight in for 15. So already, just from Dragoons, he's taken 37,000 damage, which is mental. Sorry, 3,700 damage. He then uses the effect of the Adhara. Now, I was actually expecting him to bring out the Rika, but he doesn't. He brings out Disaster. So I was kind of like, right, okay, cool. I can't get past that with Rod, which is absolutely fine. So I'm trying to figure out. So I've got an Eternal Soul, a Forbidden Droplet, and I think another Soul Servant. So literally just discard fodder. So I pass to my opponent. Now I know he's got the Disaster. He can't target my Dragoons because Dragoons is broken as hell. So if he wants to link climb, he will have to use my Rod, which is... Oh. Sorry, guys. So if he does want to use the Rod, which is absolutely fine, don't mind that. I can try and negate it with Dragoons. But in all honesty, I didn't really see the necessity for it because it's like, okay, he gets into the Link 2. The Link 2 is not going to do anything for me. Plus, I can destroy it with my Dragoons during the next turn. So there was no real loss of losing Rod in this particular point. Unless at one point when he made the Link, I was like, oh, is he going to go into like a Link 2 Fiend that's worse? But yeah, he went into this. Now, I know he can't use my Dragoons, so all I need to do is pop that before my Dragoons, like before I put another monster on board, and then he can't use it to link up with. So that's just crazy. So he's got 1 set and then 2 remaining in hand. So he sets one of them being a Rika, which is absolutely fine, which is a bit interesting. I'm surprised he didn't try to go into Link 3 or something like that. So I activate Eternal Soul. He changed Twin Twisters, and it's not worth playing Forbidden Droplet or anything like that. So he takes out my Forbidden Droplet and my Eternal Soul. For those of you who don't know, Dragoons can't be destroyed by either player's card effect. So literally, I lost nothing there, which is absolutely fine. And he's lost his entire hand. So there's only 2 cards I've got to deal with. Both of them Dragoons can get rid of. So the only issue I've got to deal with is the float ability of both of those. And like I said, he's already taken 37. So the second I activate Dragoon's effect, he goes up to 4k. So I just need one more monster on board that can attack, and then that'll pretty much lead into game. So I'm just trying to calculate what's floating. It's not even that, because I use Dragoon's effect to pop the Unchained, and he burns for 18. So I don't need to do that then. He uses the effect. The effect lets him add a card back to hand. That's really not an issue. There's no point in negating that. Because whatever he adds back, he's not going to be able to use to next turn. And with Dragoons on board, he's not going to make it to next turn, sadly, because you can actually target a face-down defense position monster because it just says target a monster your opponent controls. Doesn't need to be face up. So I can destroy the face-down, but apparently the ruling we got was that even if it's face-down, the effect doesn't... You don't get the burn damage. So I'm not too sure if that's true or not, but either way, he scoops it up there. You know, I negate the effect, and then I attack through, and Dragoons pretty much finishes the game off from there. Now this one he goes I think he goes second. I can't remember because he was playing like, so instead of playing kaijus he was playing lava golems and stuff like that, and I was like, yeah, that's not cool. So I open up Red Eyes Fusion. So I've got to try and bait out an Ash, because the last thing you want to do is get Ashed on a Red Eyes Fusion. So circle into circle, magical, and then I've pretty much got nothing else. I've got Desires, but I've not really got anything else that can help me really dig, so I have to play the Red Eyes Fusion. No response, beautiful. Send Dark Magician, send Red Eyes. Now, sometimes you actually have to hard cast it. You have to use Red Eyes Fusion normal. Doesn't matter. You don't need to normal summon a set. As long as you don't draw into it off of souls, which I did do in one of my games, you should be absolutely fine. So, there we go. So Dragoons is now on board. I can't normal summon. I can only set for the remainder of this turn, well, for the entire turn, to be totally honest. That's the one biggest issue with playing Red Eyes Fusion, hard summon it. But anyway, got Desires. All I'm doing now is I'm digging for a Gozen, because the idea is that if I Gozen, again, I'm still worried that he's playing Kaijus. If I Gozen, he can't Kaiju me. He can't give me another Kaiju unless he gives me a Dark, which not a lot of people actually play the Ride-In unless you're going to play it in Dark Magician itself. Luckily, I draw into the Gozen, so I've got the Gozen set there ready to go. I didn't want to commit too much to the board because of evenly match and stuff like that. I flipped Gozen during the standby so that he can't, like, shotgun kaiju me, which, you know, you've got to be very careful on that. But he actually has one worse, which really sucks. So he's got a very good hand. I believe it's Twin Twisters. And I was like, right, okay, well, I want to keep the Gozen and I want to keep the circle. Because the Gozen, again, I was really worried about this kaiju. Like, completely worried. So I was like, right, okay, cool. We're going to have to Dragoons that. We'll negate that. Dragoon goes up to 4k. And then he goes, end of main. Battle phase. End of battle. And I was like, damn it. So, yeah. Evening matches on the way. Boom. Now, again, at this point, I'm like, do I get rid of the Dragoons? Do I get rid of the circle and keep the Gozen? Because obviously his monsters are fire, water, and dark. So he can really struggle on the Gozen. And ultimately, what I did was I was like, I don't think he can get rid of my Dragoons. So I think the safer play was to basically sacrifice the Gozen match. And because I was like, if he's got the kaiju, he kaijus me off, I'm still going to have a monster. If he doesn't have a kaiju, then the Gozen match is great, but it still allows him to build boards, and I think it's easier for him to get rid of the Gozen than it is for him to get rid of the Dragoons. I looked through my board, looked through my banish from Desires, and I've actually lost all 3 of my circles. So it's like 2 circles in there, 1 in the grave. I was like, probably should have checked that before I discarded circle to negate with Dragoons. But, you know, it is what it is. That's what happens when you play Desires. I take a decent, long, hard think about this. Like, and then ultimately I just go, okay, Gozen is the safer one to get rid of. If he's got a kaiju, he's got a kaiju. And then he sets free and I'm like, he had me on that one. Anyway, top deck into a Law of Darkness. So normal summon Rod, and he activates Sanctum. Quite rightly so. Activates Sanctum early. I was like, yeah, that's fine. I don't mind. Like, because I've already got Dragoons on board, I don't need to access my extra deck at all. I can pretty much build power plays from here just with normal Dark Magician. So I do exactly that. I go old school Dark Magician. So he brings out his Scythe. Scythe effect goes off to lock me out of the extra deck. I've added in the Soul Servant. I activate the Soul Servant and I add myself Apprentice. I'll put Apprentice to the top of the deck. Because I've got that Allure, I don't mind that. And the idea is I'm literally trying to get Apprentice out. I'm going to try and get Dark Magician out because I think I've got Souls as well. So I put Apprentice to the top. I've got Soul Servant that can draw me straight into it, but I'm going to go to Allure instead. I Allure into a second Rod, so I was like, right, cool. Rod can go. No need for that. Apprentice effect, discard Nibiru because he's not going to make his 5 summons. Apprentice, add me Dark Magician, which is pretty much all I needed from this point. Like, I still got a negate on Dragoons. I've still got... I'm going to be able to burn in for 22 off of the back of Dragoons as well, which is exactly what I do here. Such a stupid card. Can't be targeted, can't be destroyed, can pop 2 cards a turn, can burn you twice a turn, and can also discard to negate. Like, absolute madness. So then battle phase, declare with this. He tries to activate magical hats. Now he's got an old text, but even then the old text still says that you bring 2 non-trap or 2 spells and traps in your deck, and you still need to select a monster you control, and he doesn't control any monsters, so the magical hats just fizzles out. And then, yeah, there's nothing he can do because like Rod and everything goes in for game. And that's it. Short, sweet, simple, to the point. That is exactly what Dark Magician could do. This is what my particular build of Dark Magician can do. Just powers out Dragoons, backs it all up with the Eternal Souls and Circles, and gets you quite a lot of surprising wins. Anyway, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share. If you want more commentary and duels, then please let me know what matchups you'd like to see, and I'll be more than happy to try and find them for you. But until next time, guys, as absolutely always, stay safe and happy dueling. Exclusively designed by Nixie Nax Arts, we bring you our second exclusive mat with the colossal Rainbow Neos taking on Red Eyes Dragoon, using both Dark Magician and Red Eyes alongside Elemental Hero Neos and of course Rainbow Dragon. Produced by Venom Battle Gear, this is an exclusive mat only available from their site. You can get this mat both with and without zones, and it can be shipped worldwide. What are you waiting for? Visit venombattlegear.co.uk to get your own exclusive Rainbow Neos versus Red Eyes Dragoon playmat.